Passengers aboard a Delta Connection flight 5452 arrived at their destination nearly 2.5 hours late on Friday. The reason wasn't weather, nor was it airport congestion. You see, flight 5452 was late because two Muslim men were on board. Their names, Masandur Rahman and also Mohammed Zaglul. They are religious leaders, both respected in their community. They were flying from Memphis to Charlotte, North Carolina to attend a conference on anti-Muslim prejudice. Here's what they say happened. Before boarding, the two men went through typical security screenings, just like anybody else would at the airport. The TSA cleared them, but of course that wasn't enough. The men dressed in traditional Muslim garb were screened again at the gate and boarded the plane. The plane left the gate, but soon turned back. The men were then asked to get off the plane and go through yet a third security check. So you got that, folks? The plane left, came back, took these guys off the plane, security check number 3. Once more, again, they were cleared, but that still wasn't enough. The men were told by the airline that they could not reboard to take this flight because the pilot would not allow them back on. Flight 5452 left without them. The two men were booked on a later flight. A spokesman for Atlantic Southeast Airlines says the incident is under investigation, adding, quote, "We sincerely apologize for any inconvenience that this may have caused." Let me say here tonight, if this is the way it is at airports across America, hell, let's just fire all the TSA people and have at it. Maybe we can just have our own security. This is the most outrageous story I think I've heard in a long time. 3 security checks. Is that the kind of confidence we have in the people who are government employees, TSA people? Is this our checks and balances at work? Joining me now for an exclusive interview is one of the imams who was kicked off the Delta Connection flight even after clearing security, Mr. Raham. Thank you for joining us tonight. I appreciate your time. How did you feel? How would you characterize what happened to you?
Mr. Ed, thank you very much for having me.
Go right ahead.
I am feeling humiliated, singled out, stressed.
What did they say? What did they say to you, Mr. Raham?
Excuse me?
What did they say to you?
They said, you know, the pilot is not allowing you to go into the airplane. I said, what is the reason? The pilot didn't give us any reason. The supervisor went again. Again, he didn't give any reason. The supervisor called manager, and while manager was coming, he left the gate. The manager called him back. He came to the gate again, and manager went to him, and he was talking with him half an hour. And after half an hour, manager came to us. His face was red, and he apologized to us because of the conduct of the pilot. And he said, you know, I cannot do anything because pilot is not allowing me to go.
Mr. Rahman, did you see or talk to the pilot at all?
No, I couldn't see him. I couldn't talk to him.
So you had no contact whatsoever with the pilot, but you were given the reason why you couldn't fly is the pilot didn't want you on the plane, correct?
Yeah, I couldn't get any reason until now.
Were they embarrassed by what they were telling you at all?
No, nobody was embarrassed by us in the plane because a Kia received an email by a passenger that we were okay with the passengers. There was nothing with the passengers, and it is a statement over there, one of this plane passengers.
Mr. Rahman, so are you telling us that the passengers were complaining about you?
No passengers complained about us because we got an email from a passenger. There was nothing from the side of the passengers. Okay.
Are you going to follow legal action? Follow up with legal action on this? Were you clearly discriminated against?
Mr. Ed, all the doors are open until now. We are working with CARE and we are working with several law firms, and we will see the next step to be done.
And you have compared what happened to you to that of what happened to Rosa Parks.
Yeah, exactly. I felt singled out. Though I felt this is the plane I booked my flight, and I have to go with this plane. So what is the reason is not because of that I cannot go, but they couldn't give me any reason. That's why I felt that kind of emotional stress.
Mr. Rahman, I appreciate your time tonight. Thank you for joining us. It is an absolute outrage that this kind of stuff is going on.